Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Relationships, man, they ain't easy. They take work, they take patience, and most importantly, they take understanding. Now, I'm going to share with you some keys to a healthy relationship, and I want you to listen close because these aren't just ideas, these are truth that make love last. Ladies and gentlemen, let me talk to you about something that is absolutely critical in every relationship, and that is communication. Now, I don't want you to just nod your head and say, yeah, I know about communication. I want you to really understand it because communication is the lifeblood of any healthy relationship. Without it, you might as well be living with a stranger because no amount of love can survive if you can't talk to each other and understand each other. I see it all the time. People get into relationships thinking love alone is enough, and then 5 years later, they are in counseling wondering why they can't stand to be around each other. And 9 times out of 10 is because they forgot how to communicate. Now, communication is not just opening your mouth and saying whatever comes to your head. That's not communication. That's noise. And let me tell you, noise will get you nowhere in a relationship. Real communication is about clarity. It's about honesty. It's about making sure your partner knows what you're feeling, what you're thinking, what your dreams are, and even what scares you. And here's the thing, communication is a two-way street. It ain't just about you talking. It's about you listening. And I don't mean pretending to listen while you scroll on your phone or plan what you're going to say next. I mean truly listening. Listening with your heart, listening with your mind, and really taking in what your partner is saying. Because when you do that, you build connection, understanding, and intimacy that no other thing can create. Let me give you an example. I've seen couples argue over the silliest things. What to eat for dinner, who left the light on, or who forgot to pick up something at the store. But the argument isn't really about that. No, it's about something deeper. It's about feeling unheard, feeling unappreciated, feeling misunderstood. If people would just stop yelling and start talking, really talking, they see that half the time the fight doesn't even matter, but they keep going because they've forgotten how to communicate. And here's the hard truth. If you want a relationship to last, you got to learn how to communicate even when it's uncomfortable. You got to learn how to say the hard things without being mean. You got to learn how to express frustration without attacking your partner's character. That is true communication. That is love. And here's something else about communication that most people overlook. It's not just the words you use. It's the way you say them. Your tone matters. Your body language matters. How you look at someone when you speak matters. Because if you say, I'm fine, but your arms are crossed, your eyes are rolling, and your voice is sharp, your partner ain't buying it. Communication is both verbal and nonverbal. And when you get that right, it changes everything. Suddenly, your partner feels safe. Suddenly, they feel understood. Suddenly, you both start building trust because they know that what you say and what you show match. That, my friends, is powerful. Now, let's talk about listening. This is the part that trips up most people. People think listening is just staying quiet until your turn to talk. No, listening is active. It's asking questions. It's reflecting back what you hear. It's checking to make sure you got it right. For example, if your partner says, I feel overwhelmed with work, you don't just nod and say, okay. You dig a little deeper. You say, I hear you. That sounds really stressful. How can I help? See the difference. You're not just hearing words, you're connecting to the emotion behind those words. That's how relationships survive. That's how they thrive. That's how they thrive. Another part of communication is timing. Don't try to have a deep, meaningful conversation when your partner is distracted, tired, or angry. Wait for the right moment. Approach the conversation with patience, with empathy, with love. And remember, communication is ongoing. It's not a one-time thing. You don't just have a heart-to-heart once and expect your relationship to be perfect forever. No, you have to do it every day in little ways, in big ways, all the time. Check in with your partner. Ask how they're feeling. Share your own feelings. Be honest, but be kind. That's how communication builds a strong foundation. And here's the last thing I want to say about communication. It's okay to make mistakes. You're going to mess up sometimes. You're going to say things you don't mean. You're going to get frustrated and maybe snap. That's human. But the key is not to let those mistakes fester. Apologize when you're wrong. Admit it. Say it out loud. And then move forward. Don't let pride or ego block communication, because pride will kill more relationships than anything else in this world. But honest, open, and ongoing communication can save almost anything. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you take nothing else away from this, remember this: communication is more than words. It's honesty, it's listening, it's timing, it's emotion, it's empathy, and it's courage. It's about showing up every day, willing to understand and be understood. Master that, and you've unlocked the first key to a healthy, thriving relationship. Master that, and you'll be amazed at how deep your connection can go, how strong your love can grow, and how happy you can be together. Because when you can truly communicate, there's nothing you and your partner can't face. Nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, let me talk to you about something that is the backbone of any relationship, and that is trust. Now, I know y'all hear that word all the time, but let me tell you, trust ain't just some little word you throw around in a conversation. Trust is the foundation that holds everything else together. You can have love, you can have passion, you can have attraction, but if you don't have trust, you might as well be building a house on sand. One storm, one disagreement, and everything comes crashing down. I've seen it happen too many times, and I don't want that for anybody here. Now, trust doesn't just show up one day like magic. It's earned day by day, action by action, and it's fragile. You can spend years building trust with someone, and then in one careless moment, you can break it. And let me tell you, when trust is broken, it's not like you could just sweep it under the rug and act like it never happened. Nope. Broken trust is like glass on the floor. You can try to pick it up, but you'll always feel the shards. So if you want a healthy relationship, you have to protect trust like it's the most valuable thing you own, because it is. Trust starts with honesty, and I mean real honesty, not just the big things, not just the things that feel important, but the little things too. If your partner asks you a simple question, answer it truthfully. Don't lie about where you've been, who you've been with, or what you've been doing. Those little lies have a funny way of growing into big ones. And when your partner catches even one little lie, suddenly they start questioning everything else. Trust is built on transparency. It's about being open, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it feels scary. And the more honest you are, the more your partner knows they can depend on you. Dependability is trust in action. And here, something most people don't realize, trust isn't just about fidelity. It's about reliability. 2, if you say you're going to do something, do it. If you promise to show up, show up. If you commit to a plan, stick to it. Every little action matters. Your partner's constantly watching, constantly or unconsciously, measuring whether you could be counted on That's why even small acts of integrity and consistency build enormous trust over time. On the other hand, if you flaky, if you cancel, if you break promises, even small ones, trust begins to erode, slowly but surely, until one day you're wondering why your relationship feels shaky. Now, trust is also about believing in your partner. That might sound simple, but it's huge. Too often, people let insecurities or past experiences make them doubt the one they love. They snoop through phones. They question every word. They second guess every action. And let me tell you, that ain't trust. That's suspicion. And suspicion will poison a relationship faster than anything else. When you trust your partner, you give them space to be themselves. You give them the freedom to make decisions, to have friendships, to pursue their dreams. And when you trust them, it makes them want to honor that trust, because nothing feels better than being trusted by the one you love. But here's the thing, trust is a two-way street. It ain't just your partner who needs to trust you. You've got to trust them too. You've got to believe in their intentions, believe in their love, and believe in their commitment. Trust is not about control. It's not about suspicion. It's about faith. And faith in your partner creates an environment where love can flourish, where respect can grow, and where intimacy can deepen. A relationship without mutual trust is like driving a car without brakes. Sooner or later, you're going to crash. And when trust is broken, don't ignore it. Don't just hope it fixes itself. Confront it, talk about it, heal it, apologize sincerely when you're wrong, and forgive sincerely when your partner is wrong. Trust can be rebuilt, but it takes work, patience, and commitment. It's like planting a tree. You got to water it every day, give it sunlight, prune it when it's growing wild, and protect it from storms. If you neglect it, it dies. If you nurture it, it thrives and grows strong, giving shade and shelter to everything around it. Ladies and gentlemen, trust is not optional. It is essential. You cannot cheat it, fake it, or ignore it. If you want a relationship to last, you have to live it every day. You have to make it visible through your actions, your words, and your consistency. You have to prove it, not just declare it. And when you do, amazing things happen. Arguments are less frequent, fears are reduced, intimacy grows, and love becomes something you can rely on through thick and thin. So remember this, trust is the foundation of a healthy relationship. Build it carefully, protect it fiercely, and honor it daily. When trust is present, everything else falls into place. Your connection deepens, your love strengthens, and together, you and your partner can weather any storm that life throws your way. Because trust isn't just the key to a healthy relationship, it's the lock, the door, and the safe that keeps your love secure for a lifetime. So, ladies and gentlemen, now let's talk about something that is absolutely crucial in any relationship, and that is respect. Now, I don't want y'all to just nod and smile and think you already know what I'm talking about, because respect is deeper than you think. A lot of people confuse love with respect. They think, well, I love this person, so I don't need to worry about respect. Let me tell you something. Love without respect is like building a house without a foundation. It might look good for a while, but it won't last. It won't stand the storms of life. You can't truly have a healthy relationship without respect. You just can't. Respect isn't just about saying nice words or complimenting your partner. That's surface level stuff. True respect is shown in the little things you do every day. It's about how you talk to each other, how you treat each other, and how you consider each other's feelings. I see too many people get caught up in what they want without thinking about how it affects their partner. You want to be happy, you want to be comfortable, but what about them? Respect means valuing your partner's thoughts, their feelings, their boundaries, their dreams, and their space. It's about seeing them as an equal, not someone to control, not someone to dominate, not someone to manipulate. Equality, ladies and gentlemen, is respect in action. Let me give you a real life example. I've seen couples where one person constantly interrupts the other when they're speaking. They dismiss what their partner says, talk over them, or belittle their ideas. And you know what happens? Bit by bit, that partner starts to feel worthless, starts to feel unseen, starts to feel unheard. That's a lack of respect. And it doesn't matter how much they love each other. If you don't treat your partner like they matter, the love won't survive. On the flip side, when you honor what your partner says, when you listen, when you engage with their thoughts, that is respect. And respect builds trust. And trust builds intimacy. And intimacy builds a bond that can last a lifetime. Respect also means being mindful of your words and actions, especially in conflict. Too often, people think fighting means yelling, name-calling, or bringing up the past to hurt the other person. And let me tell you, that ain't healthy and that ain't respectful. You can disagree without disrespecting. You can argue without disrespect. You can argue without demeaning. You can express frustration without destroying your partner's self-worth. That's how mature people handle conflict. That's how healthy relationships survive. And if you want to last, you got to learn that skill. Because disrespect is a silent killer. It creeps in slowly, it builds up, and before you know it, you're living with resentment instead of love. Another huge part of respect is boundaries. Everybody has them. Everybody needs them. And respecting boundaries doesn't just mean not crossing them physically. It also means emotionally, mentally, and socially. If your partner tells you they need space, respect it. If they have a dream or a goal, support it instead of belittling it. If they have friends or hobbies, don't try to control or isolate them. Respecting boundaries shows that you see your partner as a complete human being, not just an accessory to your life. And when boundaries are honored, the relationship grows stronger because both people feel safe and valued. Now let's talk about appreciation. Respect isn't only about avoiding harm. It's also about actively honoring your partner. Say thank you. Notice the things they do. Celebrate their accomplishments, even the small ones. Give them credit where it's due. Too many people take their partners for granted, and when that happens, resentment grows. Respect is the antidote. Respect is saying, I see you, I value you, I recognize the effort you put in, and it matters to me. That kind of acknowledgement fuels love in a way nothing else can. And here's the part most people overlook. Self-respect matters, too. You can't respect your partner fully if you don't respect your partner fully, if you don't respect yourself. If you tolerate mistreatment, if you ignore your own feelings, if you let someone walk all over you, that sets a standard for your relationship that isn't healthy. Respect your own time. Respect your own needs. Respect your own boundaries. And you'll naturally create a space where mutual respect can thrive. Relationships aren't one-sided, and respect is never one-sided. It flows both ways. Finally, respect is about consistency. You can't be respectful one day and rude the next. You can't treat your partner like a king or queen one week and ignore them the next. Respect has to be a daily practice, a habit, a lifestyle. It's shown in the way you speak, the way you act, and the way you make your partner feel every single day. When respect is consistent, it creates a safe, loving, and thriving environment where love doesn't just survive, it flourishes. Ladies and gentlemen, respect is the glue that holds relationships together. It's more than words. It's actions, boundaries, appreciation, and consistency. It's about valuing your partner and treating them like the treasure they are. Master respect in your relationship, and you'll see everything else fall into place. Love becomes deeper, communication becomes easier, trust becomes stronger, and growth becomes natural. Respect isn't just the key to a healthy relationship. It's the standard, the measure, and the heart of what keeps love alive and thriving over a lifetime. Ladies and gentlemen, now we've come to something that most people overlook when they think about relationships, and that is growth. Growth is that fourth key, and let me tell you something, if your relationship isn't growing, it's dying. Some people thin. K-love is just about chemistry, passion, or being in the same place for a long time. But if you and your partner aren't growing together, evolving together, learning together, then no matter how much love you have, eventually it will fade. Growth is what keeps love alive, what keeps connection strong, and what makes a relationship something you can rely on through thick and thin. Now, growth doesn't happen automatically. You can't just sit around and hope things improve over time. You have to be intentional. You have to decide that you want to become better, not just as an individual, but as a couple. And let me tell you, growth starts with a mindset. You have to believe that your relationship can improve, that you and your partner can become stronger, and that you can overcome challenges together. Without that mindset, you're just going through the motions. And that's not a healthy relationship. That's just cohabitation. Growth also means learning from your mistakes. Nobody's perfect, and nobody's relationship is perfect. You're going to argue. You're going to misunderstand each other. You're going to hurt each other sometimes. But the key is what you do after those mistakes. Do you hold grudges? Do you blame each other endlessly? Or do you sit down, reflect, and figure out how to do better next time? Couples who grow together don't avoid mistakes. They face them, they learn from them, and they let those lessons make their relationship stronger. Every mistake is an opportunity for growth, if you're willing to see it that way. Another part of growth is embracing change. People change, life changes, circumstances change. If your relationship is rigid, if you resist change, if you expect your partner to stay exactly the same as when you first met, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Growth means being flexible, adapting, and evolving together. It means supporting your partner as they pursue their dreams, even if those dreams take them in new directions. It means being willing to change yourself too, to become a better partner, a better listener, a better lover, a better friend. Growth is never one-sided. It's about both of you evolving, both of you leveling up, both of you striving to be better every day. Now let's talk about shared growth. A healthy relationship isn't just about personal growth. It's about growing together as a couple. That means setting goals together, supporting each other's ambitions, and creating a vision for your life as partners. It could be something as big as buying a house or starting a family, or something as simple as building better communication habits or a healthier lifestyle. Shared growth creates teamwork, and teamwork creates intimacy and trust that nothing else can. When you grow together, you face challenges as a team instead of as two individuals struggling alone. Growth also requires curiosity. You have to stay interested in your partner, even after years together. People think once you've been with someone a long time, you know everything about them. Let me tell you, you don't. People evolve, their interests change, their dreams expand. If you stop being curious, if you stop asking questions, if you stop paying attention, you start drifting apart. But if you stay curious, if you take the time to learn about your partner every day, you create a connection that keeps deepening over time. Curiosity fuels growth, and growth fuels love. And here's the part most people overlook. Growth requires vulnerability. You can't grow if you're hiding behind walls, pretending you have it all together. You have to be willing to be honest about your fears, your weaknesses, your dreams, and your needs. And you have to be willing to let your partner do the same. That kind of openness allows both for you to support each other, challenge each other, and lift each other up. Vulnerability is scary, but it's also the gateway to deep, meaningful growth in a relationship. Growth also means celebrating progress. Don't just focus on the mistakes or the challenges. Take time to recognize how far you've come together. Appreciate the ways you've come together to trust more, to respect each other deeply. Celebrate milestones, big and small. That acknowledgement reinforces positive growth and keeps the relationship vibrant. Couple celebrates growth as a couple that continues to thrive instead of stagnating. And let's not forget patience. Growth takes time. You can't rush it. You can't force your partner to change overnight. And you can't expect every problem to be solved immediately. Relationships are a marathon, not a sprint. You have to commit to the journey, to the process of evolving together over months, years, even decades. Patience is what allows growth to happen naturally, without resentment, without pressure, without bitterness. Ladies and gentlemen, growth is the engine that keeps a healthy relationship moving forward. It's about mindset, learning from mistakes, embracing change, evolving together, staying curious, being vulnerable, celebrating progress, and practicing patience.